Hi, my name is Frances May, and I'm coordinator of library workshops here at the UNT Libraries. I'd like to welcome you to graduate school here at UNT and to the libraries. Many of you have been out of school probably for several years. When I came back to school, it was about 10 years later, and you will find, as I found, that the libraries have changed a great deal. But I want to assure you that the librarians are there to help you, and that is our whole purpose for being here, and we love doing it. Much of the material that you'll be needing will be available online. Some of it is still going to be in paper resources. You can request those things through interlibrary loan. I want to point out to you that the databases that we supply give you access to articles that are among the best in the field, and you've paid for those already through your library use fee. And you can concentrate your effort to find the most of the best material available. And you can do that through these databases. It will save you time, it will give you what you really need, and you will find that many of these databases contain materials that have been written by your teachers. It's always a good idea to know what your teachers are up to. Many of you may think that Google Scholar gives you access to everything, but copyright issues prevent that from taking place. Also, Google Scholar can find you articles. I remember the first time I went to Google Scholar, the first article that turned up, I went, I need that. I've got to have that. And I looked at it and I realized UNT had that, had access to it electronically. So I was able to get it for free. Well, Google was trying to charge me $30 or $40 for it. Remember, if you find something on Google Scholar, always check and see if it's available at the UNT Libraries. I want to point out again that you can call us and we will set up an appointment for you to talk with a librarian. You can come here and meet them in person if you live close by, but we can also just walk you through a search. And considering that librarians study the structure of information, we can probably come up with information that you didn't even think was out there. So please make sure that you call us. There is a PowerPoint presentation a little bit later on, and the toll-free telephone number is available there. So always remember, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask, because that's information that you need, that you're not getting. So don't be afraid that it's going to appear that you're dumb. We all are to some extent. Librarians know how to find their way out of a paper bag, and we can help you find out your way out of a paper bag too. So again, welcome to the UNT Libraries and to grad school at UNT. Thanks. Hi, and welcome to the UNT Libraries. This is the place where you'll find your guide through the information jungle. Let's start by taking a look at the physical libraries. There are 6 libraries within the UNT system. The first and largest is Willis Library. The subjects you can expect to find here are education, the humanities, including history, languages, English, art. They also have the business materials, they have social studies and sociology, and they have music. And the UNT Music Library is one of the best on this side of the Atlantic and this side of the Pacific. So do yourself a favor and take a look at what we have here. The second library is our media library located in Chilton Hall. It contains all types of subjects, but the format is visual. DVD, VHS tapes, there's even laser discs and the equipment to be able to watch the material. The third library is our Eagle Commons Library. It was formerly known as the Science and Technology Library and is in Sycamore Hall, which used to be called the Information Sciences Building for those of you who have been on campus before. In that library are all the physical sciences, including physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. There is psychology available there, and the cookbooks are there, which I've always found to be very, very interesting. The library annex is the fourth, and the annex holds older materials, including journal runs back into the 1800s. And this can be very interesting when you're studying the way things have changed in the way that they're described, or the way that ads have changed over the years. The fifth library is the Discovery Park Library. That houses materials for the College of Engineering and the College of Information, which includes library sciences. It's located north of the main campus. And the last, but not least, is the Dallas Campus Library. Its physical presence is fairly small. There's only about 700 books in this library. Most of the books that you want to check out will come from the library at the Denton campus. It's mostly a virtual library, but the people who work there are devoted to helping students find the information that they need. So if you live in the southern Dallas area or Arlington, this is one library you might want to try. Let's take a look at the services that the UNT Libraries offer for students. The reference desks are physical places that you can go to get help with your research or any questions that you may have. They are open sometimes from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. depending on the location most days. And primarily these are the hours for Willis. Other libraries like the Media Library and the Eagle Commons Library may have slightly shorter hours. That's when the service desks are open. The libraries themselves are open much longer. You will need to look at the library's webpage to check on the hours for the library that you're interested in. Generally, in the long semesters, the library is open until 2 a.m. And during dead week and finals week, it's open 24/7. Some of the services include reference by appointment. We know what our students' lives are like. You're busy, you probably have jobs, you have families, and you're still trying to go to school. So we try to make things as easy for you to get help as possible. So if you're starting a big project, you may want to make an appointment to discuss your research with the librarian who works in that area. There's also a way that you can ask for help electronically via Meebo. There's also email, and there's 24-hour turnaround time on the email service. There's telephone reference. There's even a toll-free number for the library, and it's 877-872-0264. That number is answered 84 hours a week during the long semesters. So that's one of the best ways for you to get help. And we can, if at all possible, take time with you to discuss your problems and help you find information. If the UNT Libraries don't own a book or a journal, we can get material for you using interlibrary loan. This is a service that we offer for free, and we can get materials for you from anywhere in the world. If it's going to come from another continent, though, allow plenty of time. Books generally will take 2 to 3 weeks to arrive. The amount of time that you can keep the book will vary depending on the lending library. Articles sometimes can be accessed within a week, and you can actually request it so that it's scanned in and you can download it onto your computer, which is one of the best things since sliced bread as far as I'm concerned. Photocopy and printing is available in the library. And one thing, if you're a Texas resident, you may want to take advantage of is the TextShare card. This gives you access to the libraries in the state of Texas, many of the public libraries and most of the academic libraries. Each of those libraries will allow you to come in and use materials. Some of them you may be able to check out books. It depends on that library. To get your TextShare card, you can either come into the library and fill out a form, or you can request it using email. This is a free service, but you do have to renew it every semester. And the final thing that I want to tell you about is the workshops that we offer for students. About the workshops. As you know, I'm coordinator of library workshops, and these workshops were put together to meet the needs of students that may or may not receive a classroom session with a librarian. That's dependent upon the teacher. This is dependent on you showing up for these workshops. Okay, the basic one is called Introduction to Graduate Research, and it looks at many things. We talk about how to use the library's catalog. We talk about how to find journal articles, and a large portion of it is devoted to that. There's a database that covers dissertations, and we will take a look at that. And we will also find out how to set up a journal alert, which can be very, very useful to students to keep up with the changes in their field. You find some good journals that are available in your topic, and you sign up to receive an alert whenever anything new is printed. The second one that is interesting to students is of RefWorks. It's a database that keeps track of citations for you. It will enable you to keep track of your research, and it will also put citations into your manuscripts for you. You need to tell it where to put them, but it will put it in according to the citation style that your discipline approves of, such as APA format, MLA format, Chicago Manual style. And that actually is much better than sliced bread. We offer another one called Advanced RefWorks. Please take basic RefWorks before you try to take this one. It shows you how to do things like import from science databases, different ways to work with the database that are a little bit more advanced than what's covered in the basics. The fourth workshop is the literature review. Many students, when they're faced with having to do a literature review, freeze up. They don't know what to do, they don't know what's expected, they don't know why they have to do a literature review. And this workshop was developed to help you with that. And the fifth workshop set that we have is using Google in college research. This covers the use of Google Scholar and Google Documents. Google Documents can be a very good way to share material with colleagues who you're working with. And that particular workshop is online. So these are the workshops. If you find another area that you would be interested in learning more about, please let me know and we'll see about developing it. Now let's talk a little bit about the UNT Libraries resources. UNT is a major research facility according to the definition of the U.S. Department of Education. The library houses over 6.7 million items, including nearly 2 million books, and among those are 400-some government documents and over 45,000 electronic books. Periodicals and journals, we have just over 4,000 journals in print format and over 36,000 journals in electronic format. As the number of electronic journals rises, the number of paper format journals shrinks because we are moving more and more toward the electronic journal format. It's much more accessible from all over the world. As a music library, UNT's home to over 151,000 sound recordings, and these are anything from cylinders to beta tapes to LP records, and there's probably some 45s up there too. Our film and video material collection is growing. It's around 31,000 now, but one of the most important things is that we have over 400 electronic indexes to periodicals in many subject areas, and this is the heart of the research that you'll be doing. Here's a screenshot of the library's webpage, and there's just a couple of things I'd like to point out to you. Over on the right, there is a block that says Questions, Ask Us, and that's where you go to access all of the different ways you can ask for help at the UNT Libraries. This will include the forms for reference by appointment, phone numbers, things of that sort. Another thing that I'd like you to be aware of is the section that says Library Services, because that is where you will find interlibrary loan. And if you look at the link that says Library Instruction, the first thing you'll see when you go to that page is the schedule for the library workshops. Catalog up on the top left side will tell you if we have something, whether it's books, music, videos, or journals. and that can be very, very useful to you. And below that is our electronic resources, and that is the gateway to all of those databases that I mentioned earlier, the over 400 electronic indexes to periodicals. So those are some of the most important things for you to be aware of on this web page. I'd like to remind you now, don't be a stranger. The UNT Libraries were created to help you be successful in graduate school. We're here to help you learn how to use the tools of your trades that will help you succeed in your professions. So call us, come by, email us, ask us questions. That's what we're here for. And it's something that we really, really love to do. Thanks.